Hello there, right here guys, we have a brand new version of Minecraft, full release of 1.18.2. We also got some more 1.19 sneak peeks to look at, including some cryptic messages in the galactic alphabet. So make sure you watch the end to see those. Leave a like if you enjoy Minecraft updates, and don't forget to subscribe. They've been working on this update for the past month. This is to fix major issues that they didn't get fixed in 1.18.1. Because remember, that update came out because of the security issues with the Apache program. Now, these type of updates have been more common in the recent years, where the major full release of 1.18 kind of hits the deadline, like they hit that one just after Thanksgiving and just before the major Christmas holiday. Then they come in afterwards with these smaller updates to kind of fix any major things that they didn't even know about at that time or just didn't get time enough to get fixed before the full release. Now, I did go over the majority of these changes in my previous snapshot review video, so I'm just going to go over the new changes since my last video. And that is the fixes in the release candidate 1, which there's only 2 of. First one being a problem with custom dimensions for servers, which were causing the servers to stop running, but they weren't actually crashing. The second one being that data packs could sometimes kill the internal server when it comes to World Gen. They also came up with a single fix between that version and the full release of 1.18.2, where they fixed this bug to do with rune portals, where the fallback to making them is called rune portal standard, but there is no such thing as that. Instead, it should just be the rune portal default. Overall, you should be able to update your servers and worlds to 1.18 without any problems, as this just fixes issues that could potentially affect your world in 1.18.1. And all my farms should work in this version. Now, one effect this snapshot will have is on my tropical fish farm here, where I have the tropical fish spawn directly inside of bubble columns. They now change that so they don't. So I just came in here and removed some blocks along the edges. But this is not bubble column, so the tropical fish spawn here, then they go up and into the farm. They also made a change to glow squids so that you need to make sure that it is dark inside in order for them to spawn. But it seems like when they're making these 2 changes, they accidentally broke the spawning for glow squid. So here is my glow squid farm, and I'm just gonna go ahead and AFK at the top. So this is the AFK point, and from up here, I should only be allowing glow squids to spawn in directly inside of our farm. But by looking at F3, we can see there's actually none of the underwater mobs even down here. And if we zip down here, we can see there is nothing that spawned inside of here, but we do get glow squid that's spawning in other water places. And this problem also affects squid farms. So here is my squid farm, and the AFK point is up here. And if I stand here, we should get some squids to spawn in, but we're not getting any. You can see that with the command. If I fall downwards, you can see now it is giving glowing effect, but the effect is actually going to the squid over here. And this also affects my fish mob farms, where by standing up here, you should be able to get in some cod, salmon, tropical fish, or puffer fish, depending on which biome you are in. But if we hop down here, you'll see that there is actually no fish in here and there's no items. Now I have a different world where I test kind of the heights and the different requirements in order to get different mobs. You can see in here we are getting glow squids to spawn in there, and we're also getting squids and dolphins to spawn over here. Plus in this one we can actually get the fish to spawn in. So there's definitely something weird going on. I don't know if because this place actually naturally had water, but I doubt it had water at that location, because this is actually a really old world from like 1.12. It does seem that some water locations don't allow water mobs to actually spawn in. Now I did make a bug report on this, so hopefully it does get fixed. Otherwise, squid farms, glow squid farms, and fish mob farms won't always work. I'll have this bug report linked in the description so you guys can upvote it and check it out yourself. So that's all the news for 1.18.2. Let's look at 1.19 news. King BDogs, one of the developers, is working on the Skulk stuff, kind of gives some of his insight on each of the blocks, which lets us know which blocks are going to be changed in the future. He describes how the Catalyst intertwines tech as well as adventure into one block. He says the reinforced deep slate adds a lot of mystery. Some of you guys did point out that the deep slate block does sort of resemble teeth already, as we were talking about. Maybe you have to fill in the portal in with teeth in order to get the portal activated. And the reinforced block also has that bone sound when it's placed down, and teeth are kind of like bones. It does mention how the Skulk sensor is unique and interesting, but it has some design problems with how feasible it is to use. I think the Skulk block should have a right click option. That way you can decide which one of the different 15 things it can sense, sort of like you do with the note block when you tune it. Because the current problem with Skulk blocks is obviously you don't know what all these things are unless you test it out or actually looked it up. There's a lot of things that the Skulk can detect, and this would fix one of the main problems with the Skulk sensor is when it gets kind of distracted by one noise like this trapdoor here, it can't actually detect other noises. Like currently I'm using my little device here, which only will open this door up if the Skulk hears somebody walking. But because this thing is constantly making noise, it doesn't always hear me walking, it doesn't open the door. So if you're trying to use the wireless properties of the Skulk, where one Skulk will send a message to this one, and it goes to this one, and then essentially you can make wireless redstone, you pretty much have to have nothing else happening around it. Notice how this parrot just flying around is activating these? So then you'd have to come in and place in wool all around the Skulk block, just so it only takes signals from this end or the opposite end. But even then, that means you can't have any redstone devices going through here or any of the zillions of things that I can detect in between the two skulks. Otherwise, it's going to interrupt the signal. So being wireless is almost not very useful unless you're just trying to use it for aesthetics. Now once the skulk sensor is fully fleshed out, I'll probably do another video just kind of showing all the little devices that I made that uses this cool device. But for the moment, we just can't really see what's going to be changed about it. So how do you guys think they should resolve this problem so that skulk sensors are easy to use and easy to understand, as well as being functional? He goes on to talk about Swift Sneak needs to be on leggings rather than on boots. This was kind of a joke, but maybe they will actually do this because it would make sense to have at least some unique enchantment that can go on your legs, as it currently isn't really anything. Helm has quite a few and boots have quite a few, and it also would make sense because crouching is typically done with your legs. He also mentions that the Warden is too easy to cheese, but in the past it did mention that they had a solution to stop players from cheesing the Warden. I don't know if it's gonna like dig in the ground and like pop up right where the player is. We'll have to see. If the Warden has some kind of like yelling ability that would like knock players off their pillar, maybe some kind of pulling ability where it pulls them off the pillar, what ideas do you guys have? He also says that the Shrieker needs to be tuned so it doesn't spawn the Warden anywhere, or in places that the Warden shouldn't be spawning in. As we are still in the experimental snapshot very early on, I do feel like there will be a lot of changes to the Warden. He mentions the problems with the ancient cities cutting into aquifers and biome collision, and the sometimes poor placement of the deep dark biome. He says the loot in the cities is currently not really worth the risk that the Warden gives, so maybe we'll see some better loot there, or maybe a different type of loot. I kind of like the idea how they have the skeleton skulls inside of the city, so it's like something to loot rather than the actual chest. Same thing with like a bastions, right? There's like a bunch of gold. Rather than just going to the chest, there's other things that you can go for. Maybe going for that gilded stone. But he says that these are just his ideas and all these issues might not even be addressed. What's your guys' opinions on possible changes for these items to make them better? Now the next thing we're gonna look at is a bit strange. So this is a tweet by Ulraf. He's one of the devs, and he sometimes posts some in real life pictures of him making meals with his friends. And here it looks like it's a Hello Fresh recipe. My sister also likes doing those. But in the second photo, it says, got some helpers. So here's his friends helping him put together this meal. But I noticed in this photo, there is a little piece of paper here with some scribbles on it, which if you don't know, Ulraf is from Israel. So he sometimes writes in Hebrew, which can look like chicken scratches if you're not familiarized with it. But this is actually different than what's going on right here. You might recognize this. This is actually the standard galactic alphabet, which is weird characters that are placed inside the enchanting table, but they typically don't tell you anything about the enchantment, just some funny phrases. So this is the galactic alphabet and its conversion to the English alphabet. And if we go ahead and take these symbols and convert them over into English, what it says is red sheep facing their direction. So I went ahead and left Ulraf a little picture that shows I found his little note, and Ulraf responded. It's always fun when people like put little hints or clues into things. What do you guys think this red sheep reference means? I think it's anything to do with 1.19. Might have to do something with Ulraf's past. Maybe it needs Minecraft world. One thing that red sheep does have a reference to in Minecraft is the evokers, which will turn blue sheep into red sheep. Let me know your guys' thoughts on this. Now check out this playlist for more 1.19 news, or this one all about Minecraft secrets. If you haven't already, come join our Discord community, where you can stay up to date on the latest things I'm working on. And there's tons of other channels, including one if you guys need any Minecraft help. We're also getting very close to 7,000 members over there, which will let us get some new perks. I would like to thank all you guys for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye!